All right, lots of thoughts. Let's see if I can get them out in some type of structured manner. First sequence of events. I watched a fair amount of content today, consumed a fair amount of content today. So that always gets juices flowing for me. But in particular, I went and saw Crime 101 Early Access. It comes out this Friday. And I went and saw it in the movies. And those movies are probably some of my favorite movies. When I say those movies, I'm referring to movies of Crime 101's motif, and not specifically that exact genre, that exact story arc, plot, things like that, but the way that you feel after watching the movie while watching the movie. There was nothing there was nothing wrong with the movie. Now, of course, if you're a critic, you're like, "Oh, this part, this part," but there was nothing wrong with the movie at all. There's nothing wrong with the movie. It belonged in a movie theater, if that makes sense. Now, there's movies that don't belong in a movie theater because the standard is not they where it should be, and those are what I would call Netflix movies or streamer movies, exclusive streamer movies. Now, this was produced by MGM, which is an Amazon company, and they've released two movies that I've liked here recently of the same type of vibe. It's just one of them was a little bit lower, but it still, I think, belonged in a movie theater. And both of them were just good written stories. And Crime 101 specifically, really good acting, good solid story, nothing wrong with it. A good watch. I was attentive. It pulled you in. It was immersive. And I left like I have no complaints. I'm happy I went and saw this in theaters. Whereas, say for instance, I'm watching the Kiki Palmer show, The Burbs, and it's just some of the stuff, some of the scenes that I'm looking at, I'm just like, this is artificial. And not artificial in the sense of like it's a show, it's a comedy, it's supposed to be like that, but artificial in a way of like this scene doesn't look like real life. Like I can tell it's one of those like what do they even call them? It's like a screen that's in the background, and it's how like they film some Star Wars movies or some Marvel movies, and the background. I don't know how to explain it. Just look up high tech replacement for green screen on Google or YouTube, and you'll figure out what I'm talking about. I can't articulate exactly what it is. It's a screen, but it's a screen that no matter what cameras, the refresh rate for the screen and what image it shows is different for each camera, and it allows it to look like a real space and a dynamic real space versus using green screen or in a lot of the big action movies like a blue screen to be able to then put in VFX after the fact. Regardless, I love the movie. It was great. Then leaving the movie, just going through, about to listen to some music, and I see Ella May dropped an album, and just listening to it, I'm like, damn, Ella May's good. And she's like, of course she's good, but this shit hard. This shit hit. And those are the moments when I say like I've been consuming a good amount today, and that's what gets me going because I just want to express something from what I consumed, and express it in a way that is a good release for me, because a lot of times here in the past, before I started doing this, it would just be like I have an opinion and then like it's just there and it's gone. But what I've been trying to do is express thoughts and opinions and put them out, because to articulate that is to critique in a way humanity, and critiquing in a way humanity is human, and who knows what type of exposure any of that will give to anyone, like anybody that has watched my videos, any of these videos. And I have no idea, I'm doing this as a way to express and an outlet for myself that is low weight, that I can be able to build something within myself. But anybody that watches any of my videos, and if they get anything from it, that's a form of connection that is so human and so cool. And I'm mixing a lot of different ideas right now, but watching or listening to a podcast, the Waveform podcast, the podcast with MKBHD and his team. And one of the things that they talk about in this particular podcast was the quality of what they do, the production of what they do. And actually, it wasn't the podcast, it was quite literally the video. So the studio made a video pretty much doing a year in the life of the MKBHD team, which was fire. I loved it. What I thought was insightful, and then draws back to what I'm talking about now, is the fact that they all have jobs that are specific for that YouTube channel, but some would be like, why does this team even need a full-time audio person? Why does this team even need a full-time person just to record sound, or just to do graphics, or to plan out the motion effects, or whatever the case may be? But it's because if that's your goal and that's how you want, like, everybody has a vision, and your vision, you bring in a team, and those team members can fulfill something, and that's the production level that you want, and the audience that wants that in that form will get it based off the algorithm, based off of whatever, how they find you. But or if they don't, but there's that content and it's for a specific person. But there's also videos like this, or videos like old men on YouTube just recording advice, or there's videos where it's just talking heads, where people are just giving news so they don't have to go source it themselves, and they get there's so many forms of expression and forms of content. And it could be somebody just doing a talking head with no editing like this in a video on YouTube, and it can go crazy because of the content, or it could be a high production level of the same exact news, same exact anything. And that is the thing that's the coolest part to me, and how I say Crime 101 is a great movie. And it's one of those movies, again, referencing another YouTube video that I consumed, and she was making her own cable channel, her own cable channels with, like, in a home server. And if I were to create a movie, if I were those sequencers that used to be on cable, or still on cable, and picking a movie for a film, like, if I had this channel, Crime 101 would be on that, because on a channel for me, because it's a good movie and it deserves to be seen. And that is the type of thing that goes through my mind, like connecting all those different things. Let me try to pull it together, because I know I sound like all over the place. But the concept of there being a production quality and an expression quality differing levels meant for differing audiences and different methods of consumption. And in that, when you receive it and how you consume it affects how you want to express it. Stay with me now. Because I like that movie. And I can say, hey guys, I like this movie, da da da. Go to a critic. Yeah, this movie's just like there's nothing like this movie's okay. Like it's whatever. It's no Inception. Yeah. It's not trying to be Inception. It's not a big, huge intellectual idea. It's not many layers. It's not building an entire world. It's just meant for immersion and not even easily understandable, but like something that is more complex, told in a way that you feel it, and it's not necessarily you have to understand it, but you get it. You think about how everybody watching Tenet and like oh my god, like it's a great movie, like everything's amazing, 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 but I'm confused because you got to be there cerebrally, and you got to be there with Christopher Nolan or even Inception. Like the reason why I'm pulling so many people in is like I don't know what's going on, and even after the movie, it's like okay, I get it, but like you know what I mean? Versus Crime 101, you watch the movie, you understand the implications, you understand the actions, the believed intent of the actions, and you can walk away from that movie feeling something, and you're like, huh, it can make you think about whatever, but those are the movies that feel so human that, and they're so simple that you can just relate with them and just relate with the movie that you just watched because it's not trying to be like, can't nobody fucking relate to a fucking Interstellar? An astronaut maybe? But the things you can relate to are like the things that it make you feel, like the him crying in the spaceship, seeing his kids grow up, or the scene where he's like getting the trying to connect dock the ship, and or just the whole idea of like the world's gonna end one day, and like oh my gosh, like da da da, like these big humongous things are grounded by those emotions, and those are things that are really connect and make the movie flow. Or Oppenheimer is one of those things where it's like he scaled something that could very easily have been something at the level of Crime 101. Like it's just a real life story about a real life person. Where I'm not saying Crime 101 is, but it's grounded like that. But he scaled it up because he's a master at scaling those emotions. Like that's what like his production level scales that to something bigger than what the actual story was. At the end of the day, the story was what it was, but he pulled certain things out and sequenced it in a way to where like it felt way bigger than the story it actually was, which is just the story of Oppenheimer. And Crime 101 doesn't try to do that. They just this is a story about real people, these real people that you can relate to, and you can feel. I know you feel this feeling. I know you like you can relate to these things, and it's just really immersive. And not to say Christopher Nolan isn't immersive, because like of course he's fucking immersive, but it's meant for a different purpose. And Interstellar gets cult acclaim, and everybody relates to it because it's so large and it gets that exposure because it's supposed to get that exposure because it's Interstellar. It had X amount of budget, so it's supposed to do that. Now, a movie like Crime 101 that's not a big budget, that's not meant to do crazy, it does, like in my opinion, like it just like the production quality and the way that you consume it matters, and it affects the output of how people express themselves about the movie within the movie. Like, how many video essays are there about Interstellar? How many video essays will there be about Crime 101? But eventually there will be one about Crime 101 because it's somebody is going to express like, dang, like this, hey y'all, like this is really good. And that can allow exposure for it to be one of those movies that is like a sleeper. Or it's just a good movie. It's just a good movie. Shit, I don't even know, like, now I feel like I'm really rambling, and I felt hopefully I like made something make sense at some point in this. At the end of the day, if we had our own TV channels, and this is the movie channel, and we got Crime 101, we got Mercy, we got movies like, what's another good movie? A movie like Dope, a movie like The Harder They Fall. Heck, even, what's the name of the movie? Timothy Chalamet. Damn, I'm blanking on it. Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme is only, honestly, I would argue that it's the same level of human relatedness and grounded as Crime 101. And that might be a hot take. It's the same level, but the only thing different is you get more intimate with a character. Like the fleshing out of Marty Supreme is extreme because the movie's about him. So you feel the way you feel in relation to him, but everything he's really like, you're meant to try to understand him, and however you can understand him by the way that he's portrayed. Whereas you can understand all the characters in Crime 101 and you can feel what they feel, and you can have empathy, you can have immersion into all their different lives. And because there's really like 4 main characters in Crime 101, and Marty Supreme is really like Marty Supreme and like the side characters that really don't get fleshed out at all. But in Crime 101, you got multiple characters getting fleshed out to a certain depth. Now, say Marty Supreme went 17 levels deep into fleshing them out, fleshing the character out. I would say Crime 101 did 4 characters at maybe 8 levels deep. Which, again, different ways. And that's what I love so much is you can have a movie that isn't high budget, isn't high production, but it still just be good. And you can have a YouTube video that's just really good. And it doesn't even need to be high production quality. Sometimes, I mean, of course, high production quality is going to be correlated with good more often than not. But a good fucking video is a good fucking video, just like a good movie, just like a good story, just like a good book. If you can orate, if you're a good orator and you can tell a story and the story's good, it's just going to hit. But you can give that same story to somebody that is not that good of a speaker, not that good of a punchline hitter, or a comedian that's not that good of a punchline hitter, and it's just not going to be expressed in the same way to where you can feel it. So there's a purpose. And one of the hanging questions that I have is like, what would it look like for Christopher Nolan to take a script like Crime 101 and do a rendition of it? I think that's what we need to start seeing more. We need to start seeing remakes, renditions, inspired bys. Again, and I'm going like we're I watched a movie in Spanish. I don't know Spanish. I don't know fluent Spanish. I can know words, maybe some context. I don't know what you're saying, but I know what you're talking about most of the time. But I watched a movie all the way in Spanish, and it was a rendition of Batman, the story of Batman as we know it, if it was Aztec times. And I watched it because I'm like, what the heck? Batman, Aztec, Batman, Aztec, Batman. What the heck is this? And I'm thinking it's like, I don't even know what I was thinking, but I wasn't thinking it was going to be a rendition of what if Batman happened in Aztec time, or what if we make Batman story in Aztec times. And I watched it and I was like, this is fucking great. It's fucking great. Just like Batman's story is great, but I want to see that more. I want to see like the same ideas expressed differently. And of course, we'll leave like the brand new ideas and stuff that too, because that's amazing too. We love a Sinners, but you can say that Sinners is um, a a rendition of I forget the name of the movie, but the one with Samuel Holick in it, a rendition of that movie. Like you could say that, and if that's what you want to say, then fine. But look at what it was. Like that was still amazing. It was still a great movie. You can make the comparisons all you want, but if that's where he got inspired, or if that's where he wanted to make a remake of, whether or not that was the case or not, it still was fire, and it was different. Now you can get to the point to where it's like, okay, like it is the same thing over and over and over because there's only a certain amount of ways that you can express a certain plot point. But you think that until somebody does it differently. Like, what the fuck is a Batman Aztec? And that's the shit I'm on, man. That's the shit I'm on. It charges me up and then I lose it. I be trying. Consistency is hard, bruh. Consistency is hard. In every metric, in every scope of the word, consistency is hard. But I'm working on it.